Okay, so this week we're going to talk about something really fun. We're going to talk about getting naked. But first, I wanted to just talk about courage because you're going to need courage to get naked. So, courage, the definition of courage is to stand in our convictions and to act in accordance with our beliefs, especially in spite of criticism, especially criticism from ourselves. So peeling back the layers of the onion, right, which is the growth process of examining our life in light of our divinity and allowing the light to shine in and spotlight on things that we can observe, that we can change or decide to let go of, thought processes, belief systems, ways of being, habits, whatever it is that you might want to evolve away from. It takes courage. It takes courage to look in the mirror of life and look at the reflection and look at it with neutrality and allow the reflection to speak back to you about how you're being in the world. It takes courage, and it takes a real desire for more authenticity and more freedom, because what we're doing really when we're peeling back the onion skin and delayering is acquiring freedom. Freedom to be our authentic, beautiful self, and freedom to dream an individual dream and walk it out. Freedom to walk in the power of who we are, and not necessarily feel that we have to line ourselves up to the rest of the herd that's out there, but to be our magnificent individual self. So as we come up through our lives, right, we learn perceptions about life and beliefs that we acquire about ourselves. We layer that over the top of our authentic divine self. And we all have masks and costumes, and we have the personas we want other people to see and believe about us. And we have the masks that we put on guarding ourselves. We put our face forward, maybe our professional costume, right? Or our athletic costume, or who we are being. We're wanting other people to believe that we're being, or that we're wanting other people to see and think about us. I mean, we make our choices and put it over the top of ourselves because it's empowering. It's empowering, and it's safe and comfortable. So when we believe in the value and power of our authentic self and our beautiful life, then we can emerge from beneath those the costume and be free to put ourselves on display naked, our naked self, the truth about us, our truthful, authentic being. So in looking in the mirror of life, we are willing to look at the masks and the costumes that we're wearing, and then be willing to take them off, right? Be willing to decide if it still fits, or if it really matters, or why am I wearing it, right? Why am I choosing it, and why am I wearing it? And is it who I am, or is it more what I want to be, or what I think I want to be? So uh, getting naked is leaving the safe norm behind of habits and thought process and rituals. And we build our life. We do the same thing every day. We follow the same routines and the same rhythm and pattern in our thinking a lot of time and in our doing. And so we fall into these grooves and we just trundle along, and there really isn't any triggering for something new, doing something new. So when we leave the safety of that and we leave the holding pattern of the known, then we see ourselves naked first. We see ourselves naked in our thoughts. So choosing to do a different, put yourself in a new and different situation, listen to the conversation in your head. Listen, even I'm going to read down like a list of things and pay attention to where your thoughts go, because it's really funny to try, because the mind starts talking right away about something about it. So a new and different situation might be taking a new route home. Take a new route home. I used to take a new route home all the time for the very reason of switching it up so that I would be paying attention and not just in a zone. I park in a different spot. You know, when I used to work for somebody else, I used to park in the same spot, right? And then everybody has their spot, although there's not a name on it. And if you happen to park in someone else's spot, they get all bent out of shape, but it's not their spot either. It's a parking lot, but we get all these personal feelings about stuff, right? Park in a different spot, you know, eat out alone. Eat out alone. Doing stuff by yourself is a real eye opener. I do a lot of things by myself. I just do. I don't know. You know, I think working for myself put me in a position of doing a lot of things for myself. But eat out alone and don't pay attention to what it feels like. You know, what about you is bulking against that or pushing against it? What's the conversation running through your head? You know, what are people going to think? Why am I out alone? What am I going to do? Just sit here and stare at my plate, play on my phone or something. Go shopping alone. I love to shop alone when I need to buy something because I just like to get it done. But a lot of people never shop alone, never make their own decisions about what to buy. You know, shop alone and make your own decision. And what does it feel like? You know, do an activity alone. You know, biking or walking or whatever that you wouldn't normally do. And pay attention to how you feel inside. And take a class in something that you don't already know at all, like something totally out there that's going to challenge you. I took a class in Kundalini yoga because I had read about it and I thought, oh, this might be kind of fun or something. Totally weird, very good. Like I liked it, but the practices were extremely different for me. You walk in like an elephant and you're dancing with your eyes closed and you're chanting and panting and all this stuff. But in every single class, I got a revelation. I made a connection. It was crazy. It made me keep going back because I'm like, what they're doing is jumping you out of your normal brain, jumping you out of your rhythm and pattern. And you're in a place of receiving. When you're out of your norm, you're out of the you know, lazy holding pattern. A door opens, a window opens, and you see things in a different light. You hear the voice from within of the higher self, because you are now paying attention, because it's different, right? It's different. Challenge a superstition or belief that you have. You know, have to do things a certain way, right? Or whatever it is. You know, if you're going to only use old golf balls for your golf game, you know, buy some new ones. Listen to the conversation inside your head. You know, do something totally different. And, you know, I used to, you know, be uncomfortable talking in front of people. I would always get super nervous. And at work, I used to have to do these presentations and to people, individuals, and groups. And so I bought this pair of Joe Boxer underwear, and I used to wear it under my suit. And I would just think of that, like, nobody knows I have these on. And I'm going to be empowered by this stupid thing, right? Well, you know, I did just as fine without them on. But I had to do that. I had to, like, you know, switch it up. So challenge what we're doing, getting out of the patterns that we find ourselves in, because that really holds us where we are in our life, in our growth process. And it oftentimes prevents the expansion of our vision to see the opportunities that are there for us, and to see the great, to hear the voice of eternity speaking into our life, because it's happening all the time. But we're not always, we're just cruising along in our zone. We're not paying any attention. We're doing what we always do, and, you know, this to prevent that, and this to make this happen, and we're not awake, you know. And then, you know, 85 to 95% of the thoughts rambling through our mind when we're venturing out to do something, or even when it's not new, is what are other people going to be saying or thinking about me? And then the other 5+% is yourself criticizing yourself, you know. So we have to become aware of the conversations that are inside of us, and we have to see ourselves without the costume, without the safety of the masquerade, right? Costume free, costume free zone. So we have to get naked. We have to look in the mirror of life naked and unafraid, and see our beauty raw, you know, our beauty in its authenticity. And then, you know, when we hear the conversation, when we do something new and different, and we understand the conversation that's running through our mind, then we can change it. We're like, wow, I didn't realize all this noise was going on in there over this. I'm gonna, you know, do something else. I do something different tomorrow and change that, right? Change that, you know, because oftentimes it's just a pattern that we get in. Our thoughts are patterns too. So they you know, click into the groove and go, because we're clicked into the groove and going. There's nothing challenging the status quo in our life. So that's my lesson for the week. Unmute yourselves. Any comments about that?
Okay. I love the thought of being naked and having the courage to explore or discover something new about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a quick question about something you said. I think you mentioned that you used to wear, like, was it boxers?
I said I had these Joe Boxer pants.
Joe Boxers. And you were like, you felt empowered because no one,
No one knew I had
knew.
Joe Boxer. And so I could stand up empowered in front of these, corporate people
Uh-huh.
and spew out my spiel because I'm like, I've got these big smiley face Joe Boxer panties on. Nobody knows it.
That's incredible. Something so small, but like that can be so empowering. I can relate to that.
But then I was like, I got this even without them. We create our superstitions or our, you've seen the baseball players, every single time they go to, you don't have to do that. You can just have confidence in your authentic self. There's power in that. So that was just like a funny example about.
Breaking routine certainly makes a difference for sure. What you're doing makes you think different.
Yeah. Switching it up really opens the eyes.
Definitely.
Really opens, and doing something totally different. I go to trainings by myself. I go to retreats by myself. I go out to eat by myself. I do all kinds of things. And initially, I would be aware of all of this conversation, and I don't care anymore because most of it had nothing to do with me. It was just because it's different and you've not done it before, or you don't see anybody else really doing it, then you think, what are people going to think, or, whatever. So.
And that seems like a really small thing, but that's a really big thing. Even just taking a different route home from work, pretty big. And I got some friends who loathe, the thought of going to eat by themselves. They would be willing to pay for someone to eat with them just because they can't eat by themselves out. They feel weird. So that's huge.
Yeah. And why? Like, why? If we said why, like.
Why is it huge to eat by yourself?
No, I mean, just if we're like, oh, I don't want to go eat by myself, then we should be able to ask the question, why?
Oh.
And then we learn something about ourselves.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I eat by myself all the time. Yeah. I think it's like only child syndrome, but I go places by myself all the time. And so I get it when you say like you become aware of like your surroundings, but I think after a time, like I just drowned all of that like extra thought processing out, and just enjoyed that time by myself with myself. So yeah.
The more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, I just look around. I look around at everybody.
I think a key point there is you got to really like yourself, though.
That's
if you don't like yourself, then it's like, I don't want to go eat with this jerk.
Well, I think also that's a great point, Naja. I think when you're left by yourself to be with your own thoughts, if you don't like yourself, and obviously that's where the self-hate comes from, then those thoughts will start drowning you, I think. And so I think if you like yourself and you're happy in your mindset, like, you're feeding yourself positivity and open to new positive things. So yeah, it's a positive stream of thought rather than like self-hate and like, yeah. Okay.
And not
Most
only
definitely.
self-hate, sometimes it's just uncomfortable because it's different.
Yeah.
It's just different.
I also like the fact that you challenge us to look in the mirror and take off our masks and our costumes, because sometimes we don't even know that we're wearing them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a challenge for me, or it will be.
Yeah, the mirror exercise is great, and life is a mirror, right? Life is divinity in complete neutrality showing us how we're being. How we're being. We can look or not look.
Sorry.
But we want to look because we want to see. We want to, because beyond where we are is more. You know, it's like, you know, we're running 1 mile at a time, walking 1 mile at a time. You know, beyond this moment is more moments. And each moment we want to become more authentic, because with our authenticity is power and freedom. You know, the whole, what we're gaining is freedom by looking at ourselves naked, looking at ourselves in the mirror of life, looking at ourselves through our thoughts. When we become more empowered by our own beauty, and we begin looking at our lives in wonder, and we begin taking away the masks and the costumes, we're bringing a lot of freedom to become. You know, we're taking energy that's wasted on nothing, and freeing it up to bring us the freedom of authenticity and the freedom of becoming our individual, unique, wonderful self, of having the energy and the clarity and the vision to actually see our authentic self and the opportunities and desires that are within us, waiting for room, right? So we're gaining freedom. The more freedom, the more authenticity, the more love, the more power arrives for use in our life, because we're no longer expending a bunch of energy on stuff that just doesn't matter, that actually just burns energy. We're stoking the engine by retrieving, freeing up our life energy to use on our own life and on being unique and different. Because we're unique and different. We might do some things that are similar. You know, there might be 20, million doctors out there, but they're all different. They're all different because they are different people, right? Different personalities, different in their own divinity, right? So we want to allow that to birth forth into the eternal now that we're living in. We want to free ourselves from the entrapment of habits and patterns and things, so that we can live right now in the eternal now. In the eternal now, not in the past and not in the future, but in the moment that we're in, every moment, because this is where living is. This is where living is. There's history and something that hasn't happened yet. And then there's where we're at, right? This is it. So looking with excitement in the mirror, where can I get more power and more clarity? What can I, can I make room at the table of life within myself for something else? So we will do a meditation, and go into the love and steep in there and become empowered from within, so that we can become masters without, on the outside, because our life is created from within. Our reality, everything is created from within us. So get comfortable. Relax. Find your breath. Connect with the rhythmic breathing. With each breath in, feel the expansion, life flowing in. With the exhale, let go of the noise, the traffic going around in your head, the conversations, let them go. Acknowledge the beauty of the breath. It's life, life flowing in and out of this miraculous machine that we live in. Place your attention in your heart center. Image your breath moving in and out of the center. The sanctuary of you. The portal to eternity. Connect with the emotion of love or appreciation. Feeling love or appreciation, let it flow through your heart center, flowing in, filling you up, surrounding you. Open your inner ear to the voice of this love. This love that you are, that is in you, that is all around you. What is this love bringing to you today? Feel the love in you and all around you. opening up for more of it. Allowing more love to flow in and all around you. This love reminds you, is telling you who you are. It's reminding you of your beauty, power, freedom, abundance. Wisdom, wholeness. You are unique. Each one of you, you have your own light, your own tone, your own vibration. You have your own frequency. It's all yours. Allow the love to fill you, expand you even more beyond your boundaries. Let it expand you beyond your thoughts, beyond the concept of yourself as you know it. Expanding beyond all that you know about yourself. Opening to all possibility. Opening for more love. Open for something new. Have the intention of seeing yourself through new eyes. Look on the landscape of your life as though you have never seen it before. Look with your inner eye. What do you see? Allow the love to speak to you. Let it remind you of your beauty and your power and your freedom. Love is in you, all around you. Love is you. Love is speaking through your authentic self, your higher self. Love is speaking into your heart right now. Receive the impressions, the pictures, the words. Take a big breath in and let it out. Big breath in and out. Come back to this place and time. Come back to now. Open your eyes. This week, I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to be courageous. Super courageous. Challenge the criticism, the self-criticism, the costume, the mask. Have the intention of seeing yourself naked. And notice the beauty of that experience. It's all good. Go out and have a great week, everyone. Any questions, call me.
Thank you so much, Audrey.
Thank you, Audrey.
Love you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, sis. Love you.
Love you.